Your motorcycle is wrecked. The insurance company is calling it a total loss, and now you're staring at a check. But you're still wondering, can I still keep my bike? In Texas, the answer is yes, but most riders don't know what that means and what it takes to get back on the road. If you don't understand your rights, the salvage process, or how that changes your payout, you could get burned and stuck with a bike that you can never legally ride on the Texas roads again. This video walks you through exactly how total loss claims work in Texas and what to do if you want to keep your bike after it's been totaled. Understanding total loss and how Texas handles it. Hi, I'm personal injury attorney Max the Axe, the gold standard in personal injury. And the first thing we must understand here is, what does a total loss mean in Texas? In Texas, your motorcycle is declared a total loss when repairing it would cost more than what the bike is worth just before the accident. Or usually, if repairs cost more than about 80% of the bike's pre-accident value. The insurance company runs the numbers and compares the cost to fix it versus what they call the actual cash value. That's what you could have sold your bike for right before the crash happened, not what you originally paid for it. So if you had a motorcycle that's worth $10,000 and the insurance company determines that it costs about $8,500 to fix it, they might determine that it's just not worth repairing. They will call it a total loss and give you a check for the actual cash value. Now here's where it gets interesting. That offer usually assumes that you're handing over your motorcycle to the insurance company. But as a Texas policyholder, you actually have another option. The option to retain salvage, keeping your totaled motorcycle. In Texas, you can choose to retain salvage. This is just a fancy way of saying, I want to keep the wrecked bike even though I know it's totaled. This choice is yours, but there are some things to consider. When the insurance adjuster calculates your payout, they'll assume that they'll be able to take your damaged motorcycle and then sell it off for scrap parts or salvage to recoup some of that cash. But if you want to keep it, you're holding on to something that they could have otherwise sold. That means that the insurance company has to subtract what they would have gotten for the parts from your payout. Let's use a simple example. Your motorcycle's actual cash value is $10,000. The wrecked bike, as salvage parts, could fetch about $2,000 from a junkyard. If you want to keep the motorcycle, the insurance company will pay you $8,000, the cash value minus the salvage value, and you get to keep the bike. Why would you want to keep a totaled motorcycle? You might be asking, why would anyone want to keep a bike that's considered junk? Here are some reasons. Maybe you have a sentimental attachment to it. This bike, after all, was a part of your life. Maybe you think you can fix it yourself for less than what the insurance company was quoted. Maybe you want to use it for spare parts or just sell it as is. All of these are valid reasons. Just remember, keeping your motorcycle after it's been declared a total loss is your right in Texas, but it does come with some responsibilities. What happens next? Texas salvage and rebuilt titles. If you decide to keep your totaled motorcycle, Texas law steps in. The state doesn't want any unsafe bikes back on the road without some checks. Here's the process. Step 1. Salvage title. If your bike was declared a total loss, you'll need to apply for a salvage title with the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles. This is a special title that says that the bike is not safe to ride as is. Even if the insurance company doesn't take your bike, you need to get this kind of title in order to keep it. Number 2. Repairing the bike. If you want to get this bike up and running and back on the road, you'll need to repair it. This can be at your own garage or at a shop. 3. Rebuilt title. After fixing it, you'll have to go through a special inspection by the state to be sure that the bike was fixed properly and it's worthy to be on the road. If you pass, you can apply for a rebuilt or reconstructed title. This lets you register the motorcycle and ride it again. However, the title will always show that it was once totaled. This process is here to protect you and other drivers, making sure that dangerous bikes don't slip through the cracks. How the compensation process works, step-by-step example. Let's walk through an example that connects all the dots. Your motorcycle is worth $10,000 pre-accident. Repairs would cost $9,000, so it's declared a total loss. The insurance company offers you $10,000 to sign over the bike to them, but you want to keep it, and they determine that the salvage value is $2,000. So they'll give you $8,000 and you'll get to keep the wrecked bike. After that, you'll get a salvage title. If you fix it up and the state clears it, you'll get a rebuilt title, but your payout is $8,000 instead of the full $10,000 because you chose to keep the bike. Hidden pitfalls of keeping a totaled motorcycle. Let's pump the brakes for a second and talk about some potential problems. Insurance issues. Not all insurance companies will cover motorcycles with rebuilt titles. Even if they do, your premiums may still be higher than normal, and some coverages might not be available to you. Resale value. Bikes with rebuilt or salvage titles are tough to sell and fetch a lot less money on the open market. Buyers get nervous because the bike has a history of serious damage. Loans or lien holder trouble. If you're still paying off a loan on the motorcycle, the lender often calls the shots. Many times you can't keep the bike unless the lender agrees, and most don't. Safety and repair quality. Not all repair jobs are created equal. If the frame is bent or there's some serious engine damage, the bike might not ever be the same, even if it looks good on the outside. These are all real-life headaches that I've seen clients face. Keeping a motorcycle after it's been declared a total loss might still be the right move, but you need to know what you're getting into. What Texas law says about keeping your motorcycle after total loss. Texas law is actually on your side here. There is no law that says you have to surrender your motorcycle to the insurance company. The catch is, you do have to accept a lower payout. The insurance company isn't going to pay full cash value and let you keep the bike. The deduction for the salvage value is standard practice. I've worked with riders who have been able to negotiate that salvage value. Sometimes the initial figure from the insurance company is higher than what a junkyard would actually pay. You can push back if you think their estimate is off. Show them some quotes from local salvage yards. Sometimes you can actually get a difference of a few $100s. Also remember, the insurance company can't force you to keep the motorcycle either. The choice is always yours. Your next steps if you want to keep your totaled motorcycle. If you're considering keeping your totaled motorcycle after a Texas crash, here's what I recommend. Number 1, get the numbers in writing. Make sure you know your bike's actual cash value, the salvage value, and what it would cost to repair. Number 2, ask for salvage offers. Request in writing from the insurance company how they calculated the salvage value. Number 3, talk with your lender. If you finance the bike, you will need their approval. Number 4, plan for the paperwork. Be ready to apply for salvage title, get the repairs done, and schedule an inspection. Number 5, make an informed decision. Be honest with yourself about your ability to repair the bike safely, and whether you want to ride it again, or if you just want it for the parts. If all of this feels overwhelming, you aren't alone. This process can get complicated, especially if you're also dealing with injuries, lost time from work, and a stubborn insurance adjuster. Real example, Texas rider who chose to keep their bike. Let's wrap with a real-world story about this. I once worked with a Texas rider whose Harley-Davidson was totaled after a rear-end crash. The insurance company offered $9,500 if they kept the bike, or $7,500 if he kept it. This rider actually had the tools and skills to repair the bike, and it only took him about $1,200. He chose to keep the bike, did the repairs himself, got the proper rebuilt title, and was on the road once again for less than what the insurance company would have paid him. But he also accepted that the bike's resale value would never be the same. But for him, it was the right call. But I've also seen riders regret keeping a totaled bike, especially when the repairs turn out to be a lot more than they thought, or when they go to sell it and they can't get any decent offers. The moral of the story is to make sure that you do what's right for you, not just what sounds good on paper. Final thoughts and your next step. So here's what you learned today. In Texas, yes, you can still receive compensation for a total loss and get to keep your motorcycle. Just remember that the payout will be lower because of the salvage deduction. You'll also have to go through the salvage and rebuilt title process if you ever want to ride the bike again. If you found this video helpful and you want to make the most out of your insurance claim, please check out this next video, 10 Claim Tricks Insurance Adjusters Fear. It's packed with strategies that you can use right now, even if you're in the middle of a claim. Don't leave money on the table. Protect yourself and protect your rights. And I'll see you over there.